everyone.
ਅੱਜ ਫੇਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਦੇ ਆਨਸਰ ਦੇਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਹਾਈ ਨੀਤ, ਹਾਊ ਆਰ ਯੂ?
I'm good.
ਸੋ ਨੀਤ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ?
It is always exciting ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ clients ਦੇ ਨਾਲ live ਰਹੀਦਾ and there are questions we just answer during in demand and it has 3 different streams. Unlike ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ 3 different streams ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, but their names were different. They had different criteria, but now they have different streams. So we will be discussing all about skills in demand visa in today's
come to us. And okay, Sunit, followed by that, 1 year experience, and she's having certificate 3 in early childhood. Is she for 482?
Yes, definitely, Yamuna. If you have 1 year of full-time work experience and certificate 3 in childcare, in that case, you will be able to apply for 482 visa if your employer is happy.
Definitely. And Neet, is there something related to the transport industry that has been brought to the skills list?
Okay, now when it comes to transport company manager, I know again it is a little bit disappointing for those who already got skills assessment or work experience as transport company manager. That's been removed, but fleet managers are in. So it means if you have been managing the fleet and doing almost like same kind of duties as transport company manager, in that case, fleet manager is there. They can avail direct permanent residency 186. They can avail 482 with 1 year of experience as fleet manager. There are options, even for truck drivers, there are options under labor agreement, but not under CSOL. CSOL only fleet managers.
Yeah, of course. I think there is little bit internet issue maybe with the live, because like we're getting a lot of messages related to that as well.
Okay.
But
Is it interrupting? Like live session is interrupting? Okay.
Yeah, no worries. So we will continue. In the meanwhile, we're also getting some of the questions that are related to 189 and 190. Guys, I would actually recommend if you ask more questions about 186 and these kind of 482.
Like today's session is primarily focused on 482 and 186. But yes, we are happy to take 1 or 2 questions which are related to skill visa. Okay, about skill visa, I'll just like quickly give you an overview. With 189 and the 7th of November, there was an invitation round. The list is there on Home Affairs website. You can see what all occupations have been invited and what are their cutoffs, like cutoff in terms of points. You can have a look. Western Australia, they have conducted an invitation round on 20th of November. So that is for 190 and 491. Victoria has been conducting random rounds and always letting us know when they are inviting people. New South Wales, Pathway 1, we got many invitation under Pathway 1.
Exactly.
And Pathway 1 has become simpler this time. I would say like earlier, Pathway 1, New South Wales, they were very, 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 very strict. But this time, they have not asked for any information. They are just simply approving all our applications for 491 Pathway 1. So that's a good news. And what else? Like Queensland. Queensland is giving all of our small business owner applicant, they already got the invitation from Queensland. Our chefs got invited in Queensland with superior English. That's the problem, you know. With Queensland, they are particularly looking at superior English or very high income, like somebody is earning $100,000. In that case, they're inviting them.
Exactly. And Neet, while there was an anticipation that the list has to come out and everything. So at that point of time, while I was just looking in the videos, at that point of time I saw people, they were anticipating that the time duration for 186 would also fluctuate.
No, and we already said that only for aged care 186 you need 2 years of work experience. For any other occupation, 186 means 3 years of full-time work experience. And there is no relaxation on that. And you all should not be falling for those rumors.
Yes. And Neet, actually, Yamuna is basically asking the kind of like same question. So she's asking, I have 1 year experience and I have certificate 3 in early childhood. Am I eligible for 482 visa?
Yes, you are. Like, I don't know what's the confusion. If you have any you want to discuss your profile in details, in that case, I would recommend you can come to our office, book your online consultation. We have offices in Perth, Melbourne, Brisbane. You can come and visit us in any of these offices, online consultation.
Sure. And followed by that, Neet, another one more GSM related question is there. So basically, Sabi is asking that 75 points Victoria, any chances for 189, 190 ECT?
ECT will get invitation in Victoria. If you look at their priority consideration, they have posted, there were 2 updates, I think last week, there were 2 updates. As per those updates, an ECT will be prioritized in Victoria. So I'm pretty sure like you will soon get invitation if you are at these many points.
Exactly. And now, Neet, let's like discuss more about the list. So followed by the list, there are also sometimes the DAMA approvals and everything. They're also coming up.
Yes.
So is like 482 and this list any changes or anything that is related to DAMA in any case?
Okay. Now, when it comes to DAMA, Dharma has nothing to do with this CSOL. Remember that, right? Dharmas, there are 13 Dharmas in all over Australia, and all 13 they have their own occupation list. Now, cafe restaurant manager,
Yeah.
it like reminds me that. So, cafe restaurant manager, if now it's not in the list of like CSOL, standard list is not there. So, what you can do is if you have an employer in Dharma regions, if you are in Queensland, Townsville, Cairns, they are Dharma region, go find an employer there. If they are willing to sponsor you, you can get your 482 visa with 1 year of work experience. You can get your 186 after working for them for another 2 years. So this is how you can avail your permanent residency as a cafe or restaurant manager.
Sure, of course. And Neet, you remember like Nikhil's question we took, like he was also having like retail manager skills assessment.
Yes.
So Nikhil is again asking one more question. He's asking, can Red Roaster or Zimbarero sponsor work as a retail manager?
It depends. Again, Nikhil, it is a very specific question. We can't answer it online, right? There are few technicalities always, right? So in those cases, I would recommend you booking a consultation with any of our migration agents, and they will be able to answer you.
Yeah, of course. And followed by that, Neet, coming back, so truck drivers, let's talk about truck drivers a little bit more. So do you think that there is something that would impact, the skill, permanent residency or something like that related to this truck drivers?
I would not say that, because even though truck drivers are not been added into this CSOL new list, but still truck drivers pathway under Dharma is there. Under company specific labor agreement, the pathway is very, very clear. Only thing, people should know how to avail this pathway, and whether their companies, if you are an employer listening to this live, you should know what is your company's profile and whether it is eligible to go for company specific labor agreement. It's not for every company. Even if if you are a startup or you are not having any Australian citizen permanent resident and you are looking for such kind of approvals, you may not be successful. But yes, with good profiles, good companies, yes, always.
Yes, of course. And Neet, let's like talk about 407 maybe. So
Sure.
these days, I don't know what's happening. Refusals in 407 and everything. People, they're just posting it online.
Exactly.
So what do you think is the probable reason why people they're getting so many refusals on 407?
Yes, sure. We can discuss about it. So one of the reasons is when you don't have, like you don't meet the eligibility criteria. So for 407, you know that 1 year of full-time work experience or 1 year of study. Many people, they intend to buy time from 407. They don't meet the eligibility criteria. This is one of the reasons refusals are there. Another reason is their training plan is not justifying why they need the training. A chef who has already been working in an Indian cuisine and for last 2 years and again need training for Indian restaurant, definitely that would be refused. So you should know how to justify your training plan. And another thing, right now I've seen many online forums, online community posts, groups. They are saying like, okay, sponsorship has been refused for 407. And then definitely your nomination is at stake, your visa application is at stake, because sponsorship is the foundation. But sponsorship is tend to be refused. Reason being, employers, they don't have sound financials. They're just like lodging 407 for anybody and everybody. People are not understanding, like, what is the seriousness of this visa, and they just keep lodging 407 from any business not having proper financials and lodging the visa. They will have refusals.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's like we have been seeing this thing that
Exactly.
just for buying time, people they're going for 407.
And immigration understands that.
Exactly.
They are very smart. They will understand what are your intentions, whether it's a genuine 407 case. And you might have seen, Manvi, like our page there, if you see so many approvals are there for 407, it is only because we know, okay, how to justify that training plan and whether you are actually eligible for 407. It's not like just for buying time.
Exactly. So guys, you and your employer, you should just talk to the migration agent. You should discuss with them about your financials, about like if you really meet that requirement, not just to exploit a visa, but to actually avail the visa.
Exactly. It is just abusing the migration system. So if you try to do that, you will see the consequences. You should know how to play very safe and smart.
Exactly. And Neet, there is, I'm so sorry, another, GSM related questions. It's like 18965 points, 19070 points. Social worker in New South Wales. Any chances?
189, how many points?
189 is on 65 points.
65 points. I think the last invitation round they invited social workers at 75 points or
Mhm.
some. So you always need to refer to the last invitation round. If you want, I can see now, right now. But since it's a specific question, I would say check online and see what is the reference for the last invitation round.
Exactly.
If social workers have been invited at these many points, you will be next. But if not, then in that case, you may have to wait. So I'll check very quickly now. Social worker at 70 points, they got invitation. In the last invitation round, that was on 7th of November. So it means next time, if you have 70 points, you will
Yeah.
be invited next, or they may, reduce the cutoff. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, you may get invited.
Exactly. After just like looking at these days scenario, Neet, do you feel like migration is, rather than giving the skilled
Skilled
migrant visas more, they are diverting or they are
Towards,
directing
yes,
people more
it
towards
is. It
skilled?
is like that. But if you see 189, last time, last financial year, they had 30,000 seats somewhere. And this time they have about same 30,000 seats. And out of that, last invitation round itself on 7th of November, they invited 15,000 people.
Yeah.
It's not like they have not invited. They have invited many. It's only the cutoff was like a bit higher. Civil engineering draft person,
Yes.
70 points people got invitation.
Exactly.
Many they got invitation in the last invitation round at 70 points. Carpenters, they were not invited in the last round, but like yes, before that, if you see 65 points. So yes, people are getting invited for 189. But yes, at the same time, immigration right now or migration strategy is towards like supporting the employers and
Exactly.
supporting Australian economy
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah.
Of course, of course. And followed by that, Neet, is the CSL the SWL list that we have. Is it going to impact somewhat like the 407 as well in any way or not?
No, for 407, they will still be having the same list, medium to long term, short term, and ROL, and short term skill occupation list. Whereas for 189, the same lists are there. They haven't yet said anything like OSCA is coming into picture. OSCA is another thing that is going to come into picture very soon. Maybe like by 21st of December, that I know like immigration does all those things like just before holidays they may just say they
Big
may break this
announcements.
news. Okay, now Oscar is in picture.
Yeah.
So there are few things. There are few things again coming into picture very soon. Stay tuned to Visa Empire. We'll keep you updated, keep you posted about all the changes.
Definitely. And followed by that, Neet, do you think like if someone has crossed 35 years of age, of course they cannot go for 485. So do you
Definitely.
think 407 can be a cushion to them to support them?
Definitely. When it comes to 407, it's not only about the work experience eligibility, it's towards the study experience as well. Let's say somebody's been studying masters of HR, human resources, right? And they are all 5+, they cannot apply for 485 visa. In that case, if the employer is happy, in any employer, Australian employer is happy to sponsor, they may get training visa just because they have been studying in the last 2 years for 1 year, right? So they are meeting the requirements. So they can explore 407 visa.
Definitely. And Neet, there is another question from Miss Kareval. So she's actually asking that she's having 3 years kinder teacher experience after B.Ed in India, but of course, as in India, they give cash as a salary, so that like they were getting it. And Australian 2 years experience casual and 1 year full time. So can she go for maybe? I think maybe she's asking about 186. Not sure.
Yeah, as a childcare worker, if you meet the criteria for childcare worker, 3 years full time work experience. The work experience can be from overseas, but you should be able to justify how that work experience, you need to substantiate that work experience. If that's the case, 3 years full time from here, from overseas, doesn't matter. You will be able to apply 186.
Definitely. So, of course, if you have such type of questions where it is something related to how you've been paid or something like that, that's very specific kind of questions.
Exactly,
I think.
exactly.
Yeah. They should definitely come to us personally to discuss such questions.
Yes.
And followed by that, Neet, it's like another question, but that is GSM question.
Yep.
So it's like 85 points motor mechanic, 491 Queensland, 70K is the salary.
Okay, and how many points?
So that is at 85 points.
85 points. Queensland, we cannot predict this time. They have only 600 seats, and if you see, like many invitations have already been in, like or out, so we cannot predict exactly whether they will be inviting. But superior English, they are giving preference to superior English in
Yeah.
trade occupation. I've seen that.
Definitely. Earlier, the things used to be so different that,
I know.
they're just having 6 each, 7 each, and all the trade got
Exactly. Only
invited.
50 points. Like we have seen that time, 50 points with 15 points from state, people got their 491. But right now, 85, 100 points, even
Exactly.
people are not getting invited. It is
Exactly.
sad. It is really sad, but it is the time.
Yeah.
It is the time, and we cannot help with that. It is all about migration, Queensland.
Exactly.
Mm.
And Neet, there is a general kind of query that most of our clients they do have.
Hmm.
So it's like they just to ask us is in case of 407 as well, there is something like regarding the pay as well that they should get this much package or something like that in 407.
Okay. With 407 visa, training visa, there is no income requirement. So anybody who is earning more than the national minimum wage,
Yeah.
they should be able to satisfy the requirement for 407 after the visa grant. So there is no pay package requirement. But if it comes to 482, if it comes to 186, certainly there is a requirement. There is a requirement 73,150 plus super.
So yes, guys, so there's no requirement for 407. So if they're having 2 years of qualification, let's say in Australia, or within
Yeah.
last 2 years, they have completed qualification in Australia, and they have an employer or they don't. So what is the main requirement of 407? Having employer? No, having.
Having an employer. Having an employer, that's the main requirement for 407. If they have an employer for 407, income is not at all, the problem. You can easily get your 407. 407 will not be a problem with the completion of studies. Only based on study, you can avail your 407.
Definitely. And Aneet, what's the time duration these days going on? Like, in how much time is the 482 and 186 for how much time they're taking to get
Okay,
granted?
sure. The processing time, when it comes to processing time, 407, the processing time is about 7 to 8 months. When it comes to 482 visa, if the employer is based in regional, very quick. Like we are getting grants in like 1 or 2 months. And if it's a metropolitan employer, then in that case, 4 months, about 4 months. 186, it is taking anywhere from 4 months to 8 months.
Yeah.
But there are some accountants we got their grants within even 12 months, so 1 year. Yeah,
of
186, it varies depending upon the occupation.
Of course. So, guys, if you have more questions, you can always, just drop me the questions, and I am all there to ask from Neet. And
We have, I think, we are also live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And do we have the access to read those questions? No. It is taking any. Yeah. So we have questions from Facebook as well.
So, Neet, I'll just take one of the questions from Hireen.
Yes.
So, Hireen is actually asking to apply for 186 direct entry. Does it require 3 years written on the skills assessment, or if skills assessment says 2 years, 9 months, but person is still working in same company?
Skills assessment need not to say that 2 years or 3 years full time, and then only you will be able to apply. It's never the case. So imagine if you got your skills assessment 1 year ago, and after that time you had just 2 years of experience, and now you have 3 years of experience, you can use the same skills assessment and apply for 186. It does not need to mandatorily said that, okay, yeah, that needs to be 3 years. No.
Exactly. I think this is like a general, question in most of the people's mind, that skills assessment is not saying this thing, so maybe.
No, there is no such requirement that skills assessment must say that.
Definitely. And followed by that, someone has asked that he's a heavy diesel mechanic with lots of experience, like 18 years. Can you please elaborate your question a little more so that I can discuss with our migration agent? Like,
Yeah, sure. Just like if you are writing your query, write it like in detail. Okay, what sort of visa you are looking for, and what is your specific question?
Yep. Yes, exactly. And followed by that, Neet, I'll just ask you more questions about, let's say now 186.
Sure.
So is there some occupations or certain occupations which are actually not eligible for 186 that cannot lead you to 186?
Okay, so if we talk about cafe restaurant manager, now it's not there in 186 DE. So any occupation which is there in CSOL, like core skills occupation list, they can avail 186 direct entry. I'll just quickly read some of the occupation.
Yeah.
Beauty therapists, many beauty therapists earlier, they have been working in the field. There was no option 186 direct entry. Now they can avail 186 direct entry. Project administrator, they were never having that opportunity. Contract administrator, they never had that opportunity for 186 DE, but now they can apply. Another thing, One very interesting occupation, vocational education trainer. Vet sector.
Vet
In vet
sector,
sector,
yeah.
many trainers, they have been teaching in vet sector, polytechnic teacher, they were not able to get their 186 or 482, but now that's in the list. So if you are vocational education trainer, you can also get your permanent residency. You can get temporary visa 482 and then 186 direct entry depending upon the experience.
That's very good. So now the vet sector teachers, if now they are having experience, so they can also just like come to us and
exactly. Hotel or motel manager,
yeah,
they are also now in 186 direct entry list. So I'm just reading, licensed club manager,
yeah.
travel agency managers, fleet managers, they are all in 186 list. If we talk about, I know there are many interesting occupation out there right now in the list. I'm just reading. So these all occupation can get now their 186 direct entry.
Exactly.
Landscape architect, landscape gardener, they can all get their 186. Yeah, engineers are there. They were always there. But like some interesting occupation, yeah, they can get 186.
Definitely. And Neet, what is the English requirement for 186 and 482? People, they generally ask us this question. How about
Definitely, we can
English?
talk about it.
Yeah.
So for 482 visa, now for any occupation in CSOL, so earlier for medium term, there was different English requirement. For short term skill occupation list, there were different requirements. But now 482, under any occupation in the CSOL, they all need to have 5 each. So earlier 5 overall,
Yeah.
4.5 each for STSOL, but now 5 each for everybody who is going to lodge 482 visa. And for 186, it's always 6 each.
Yes, definitely. And Neet, is there such requirement for the 407 as well? So do people need bands requirement for 407?
Yeah, 407, you just need functional English,
Yeah.
which is 4.5. And functional English, when it comes to functional English, it must be within the last 12 months. Or if you have completed Australian qualification, you don't need English requirement.
Of course. So it's like just like they have completed the English requirement, let's say the Australian qualification in the last 2 years. So
Yep,
then
they
they
don't
need
need, then they don't need to provide English exam.
Definitely. So guys, if you have more of the questions, you can always post it on our live, whether it is on Facebook, whether it is on TikTok or any of the modes wherever you are watching us. Just drop your questions. We're all there to discuss it.
And we will be going off live very soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So coming back, Neet, there is another question. So he says that he wanted to study social work and can come. Okay. So basically, they're asking that should they study in the Northern Territory or like Brisbane, the course? Social work.
Okay, social work. So if you talk about, two different states, Northern Territory and Queensland, I would suggest if you're going to study, you are just about to start studying, in that case, Northern Territory would be my preference, because Northern Territory, they always give preference to their graduates, and there's not much competition as compared to Brisbane. Queensland, everybody likes to move to Queensland right now, considering 2032, those Olympic Games are coming. And also, there are a lot of other incentives. Many Australian citizens from Melbourne, Sydney, they are moving to Queensland. In that case, Queensland is becoming very competitive. And I feel personally that Migration Queensland is not going to give many seats for migrants. So in that case, you can, I think, out of these two states, if you ask, it's my personal opinion, Northern Territory would be better if you're just about to start studying.
Definitely. And Neet, how about Tasmania? Would you recommend someone to go to Tasmania and study if they're just generally asking about this question from there?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then if you again ask me to compare Queensland and Tasmania, out of that, I would always recommend Tasmania, because Tasmania is a state that is always giving preference to their graduates. Even right now in Tasmania, if you see the competition and if you see the competition here in Queensland, Tasmania is far better.
Yeah, definitely. So, Neet, these days I've just been watching that, the girls, those who want to study nursing, or even the boys, those who ever want to study nursing, they are trying to move to Tasmania to study that. So I truly believe that, that's going to be very good for them.
Definitely. It is going to benefit them in a way or other, right? Just because as a graduate from Tasmanian institution, you will be given the preference. And also Tasmania is less competitive when it comes to skill migration 190 491.
Definitely. And again, Neet, I'll just ask the same question once again about the Queensland. So, do you think in any coming time there's going to be any positive change from Queensland side
I
for
cannot
the
see that. I am not sure, and I would rather not comment on that, because Queensland is very unpredictable, very, very unpredictable, and they have just 600 seats.
Yeah.
So I would rather not comment on this.
Definitely. And generally, if Neet, in regards to going for the Dharma, what is the safest area that these days you suggest people for the
Okay,
Dharma?
for Dharma, again, it depends upon your occupation. Imagine if you are a truck driver, you are having the freedom to go to any Dharma except one. All 12 Dharmas, they have truck drivers in the list. Always look at the list of that Dharma, and look at always the historic statistics as well, like whether that occupation remained there in that particular Dharma or not. And I would say, moving to Dharma, you should always make that choice only once you have an employer ready to sponsor you. You have signed the employment contract and everything, then it's wise to move. Yeah, not like firstly move there and then you are just looking for jobs and not getting it, and then relocation is very hard. It is very hard, and especially if you are with dependent family members, it's a very tough decision.
Exactly. We get so many clients those who ask us the relocation question, but it is a very big decision to make.
Exactly. But at the same time, if you know that, if you already got an advice from your migration agent or lawyer, and if you know that, okay, this is the right time for you to relocate, I think then you should not be lazy to move. Then you should be very quick to move, and then get your permanent residency sorted first.
Exactly. And Neet, how about the aged care workers? So, do you suggest them as like Dharma as a pathway for the aged care workers?
Okay. Yes, I would. So, aged care worker. Now, let's talk only about aged care worker. With aged care worker, you guys have two pathways: age or disabled carer under Dharma. So, any Dharma, if we talk about any Dharma, they have this occupation. Only thing, employers, they face challenges with the pay, because for age disabled carer under Dharma, they have to pay either TISMET, that is 73,150, which is very high compared to the market salary rate. Or they have 10% concession. So 10% concession is somewhere 66K. They still have to earn that much, and they may not find an employer. But if they go for second pathway for aged care, that is aged care industry labor agreement, that in that the pay requirement for the employer very easy to meet, 53,100 something. Definitely. So I would say, if an employer is ready to go for aged care industry labor agreement, for them it's very easy to meet those requirements. They can easily sponsor you. So if you find such employer, go for it. Otherwise, in Dharma, at least 66K you have to make, then only the employer would be able to sponsor you.
Exactly. And Neet, how about the childcare workers? So do you suggest them as well, Dharma, as one of the options?
Okay, with childcare workers right now, you have a standard pathway, but income can again be the problem.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to many childcare providers. What they say, okay, it's very hard for us to pay a childcare worker 73,150. So it's very difficult for them to pay. In that case, like Dharma would be an option, because in Dharma 10% concession is there. So 66K you can still make it, but 73,150 may be hard for your childcare provider to give you.
Exactly. And about these people, those who are under, those who fall under the beauty sector. So how about them? Do they also need to have this much salary?
Exactly, they need to. Anybody whose occupation is in CSOL. Okay, now let's talk about 482 and all its streams, right? We haven't discussed that. So with 482, you know that there are three streams right now. You have core skills occupation stream, core skills stream, that is like occupation must fall under this occupation list. You have second stream, which is highly skilled specialist stream, where you must earn 135,000 per annum plus super. In that, your occupation can be in any list, right? Doesn't matter. But you should not be in group level 3, 7, and 8. Imagine you are a cafe restaurant manager, but you are making 135,000, right? In that case, you can get 482. So that's one of the exception.
Yeah.
But you must be, you must be earning 135,000. So that is the catch.
Yeah.
Okay. So highly specialist stream means anybody who is earning 135,000 plus they can avail highly specialist stream where the priority will be given, processing time will be lesser. And core skills key stream where the occupation must fall in that list. And then there is a labor agreement stream. It means you are going through labor agreement, either
agreement, yeah.
DAMA or industry specific. So this is how our 482 is going to work now. The skills in demand visa, three
Yeah.
streams.
Of
Okay.
course, of course. And Neet, I'll just come back to another question that is from Bikram's side, actually, again about GSL.
Okay.
So he's just asking, will there be any more 189 invitation rounds this financial year?
Sometimes they're very generous, and before Christmas, they like to give Christmas gifts. We were hoping
course.
one round before Christmas, like somewhere 17th of December, 18th of December,
Yeah.
right? They have done one on 7th of November, which was unexpected. So we were hoping, okay, September they had a round and next should be in December, but they already did in November. So I cannot comment on that whether December round would be there or not. Generally they do in December as as a Christmas gift
Yeah.
for everybody. But it looks like they have already done one in November. They may or may not do in December, but January looks promising. If not December, then January will be there.
Definitely. And Neet, I think like let's now just shift little bit towards the other, kind of like questions as well, because like people, they're just asking me a lot of questions in the middle of it.
Yep.
So the general question that I am finding out in the comments, it's just like people, they're asking, let's say they have completed their student visa, or their student visa is going to expire. So the general thing that 485, they should avail it, like they're eligible for 485, or they should go for student visa because no student visa after that.
Exactly. I would say don't fall into that. Like if you are a person, you have already started your job ready program. You have studied certificate 3 of commercial cookery, certificate 4 of commercial cookery, diploma has already been studied, and you have never breached any condition. You can extend your student visa, study advanced diploma of hospitality, and upgrading your studies. In that case, you can complete your job ready program during student visa so that your TR is left and that TR can be utilized towards finding and sorting your permanent residency. So that is one way. But at the same time, if you're a person like me like very impatient, in that case you would not like to delay your permanent residency and stuff like that. You may have work experience during student visa, some sort of work experience. If you have already completed your graduation, your masters from back home like India, in that case complete your work experience on student visa, get skills assessment ready during student visa itself, and then go for your 485 visa. Then in that case, I think there is no fun delaying your 485.
Exactly.
It is only if you're a person very, very young, you don't have prior experiences, or you don't have anything. In that case, okay, delay your student visa and then delay your 485.
Exactly.
It depends upon personal circumstances, I would say. It depends upon your personal preferences, the way you work. It depends upon that as well. Like some people, they are always in rush to complete their things. Some people, they like to delay things. It is all upon you, I would say, rather than asking suggestion. But yeah, I have already given you the suggestion and pros and cons of each.
Yes, exactly. And of course, Neet, so even if like they go for the 485, after that they can go for, let's say, 407 or 482, depending upon their circumstances.
Definitely.
So
Even if you go for 485, and right now many are there on 485 when the rules were not sure. So in that case, now what they're doing, they have 407 option, they have 482 option, and always like skill visa is always an option.
Always an option, of course. So Australia is not letting you go anywhere.
Exactly.
There are a lot of options for you, of course.
Exactly.
And Neet, again, I have a question from Balkaran's side. So he's actually asking that can he apply 186 direct entry after certificate 4 in commercial cookery, like no diploma?
Okay, I know why you're asking this, because ANSCO requirement, ABS requirements, and BETSS requirement, they are two different requirements and they have two different eligibility criteria. In this case, again, these are some of the tricks. They're migration agents trick, right? I would not like to answer these questions on this online forum, right? I would say you can come and talk to us, ask your migration agent how to sort this out. There is an answer and there is a way how to do it. I would not answer here.
So that's the secret. So
you can get that done. There is a way to get that done.
yeah, of course, of course, of course. So if you have any specific questions, I would actually recommend you to book a consultation and discuss. Otherwise, as well, there's like discussing your profile on the messages. Yeah, of course. So yeah, I'll just come back to the questions that I was
Yep,
on.
sure.
So let's say, Neet, if someone, they have just completed their 485, that's just going to exhaust. So how much time would they need for anybody to prepare their 407 application? For how much time they should give them?
Okay. If you, after 485 you're going for 482, you know that 28 days of advertisement, that's must.
Yeah.
At least 2 months, minimum 2 months. I would say give 2 months, because 28 days your advertisement is going to take, and then sometimes employers are very lazy to give documents and they are very slow in their processing. If you're going for 407, still give yourself at least 1 month. Don't be at the last minute application and go for that last minute thing. At least 1 month you should be giving. Another thing I wanted to discuss here, recently, in this last week only, I got 2 consultation. One consultation where the applicant was already unlawful after both the consultation. In fact, like, applicants were unlawful just because they were not able to find, after 485, they were not able to find for 407 an employer, and in that case they have become unlawful. This is something I would criticize this practice, whosoever suggested you. And some migration agents are suggesting you have 28 days of grace period for 407, utilize that. Please don't fall into that. Don't fall into that. You become unlawful, it's going to impact your visa history, it's going to impact your future a lot. There are serious consequences, and it is not easy for us to justify the department why you were unlawful just because you forgot to lodge your visa, right? So this is not an excuse. Okay, so always remember to remain lawful when you are in Australia, and don't go for, okay, I have 28 days grace period. Please don't do that.
Exactly. So guys, just don't waste your time. Of course, if you know already that your visa is expiring on a specific date, always come to a migration agent and discuss your case. You always have more options with you.
Exactly.
And Neet, just a quick question. Trisha is actually asking, is the massage therapist as well in the direct entry list?
I think yes. See, the list has 457 occupation, and I'm still trying to digest this list. I'll just tell you right now. Yes, massage therapists are there in 482 and 186. That's a good news. So, Trisha, you can go for it.
Definitely. So, Trisha, if you want to discuss your profile, of course, you can come to us. We will help you, in getting all of the details related to that.
Yes.
So, Neet, if some massage therapists, they are, lying in somewhat in the regional or something like that, would it impact the visa application, or it's just about their...
No, it is like 482, 186 massage therapist. Your employer can be anywhere in Australia. Doesn't matter, regional, anywhere. You will get your 482, 186.
Definitely. And Neet, there is a question from Suman. She's asking that can we study after getting TR?
Can we study after getting TR? Yes, on your 485 visa or TR, whatever you call it, you can study. You have full work rights, you have full study rights. So on your TR, there are some very, very, I would say, crucial courses that can lead you to permanent residency, and you should know about those, like grad diploma of ECT, grad diploma of early childhood teaching. You can study that on your 485 and be PR ready. Another course that you can study on your TR is enrolled nursing. That can also lead you to permanent residency. So these are short courses, 1 year, 1.5 years.
Exactly. So yeah, of course. So they can actually do any of the fast track courses.
Yes, they can do it.
Yeah. So Neet, is it after the graduate diploma of early childhood, now they don't need to have 778 in IELTS?
Yes. That is something I would say it's a very positive news. And those who are looking to study graduate diploma of early childhood teaching, now you don't need 7788. We have already updated people when the news was out. You don't need 7788. You just need to complete that from an Australian institution, and you will be able to get your skills assessment.
Exactly. So Neet, is this condition only with the graduate diploma of early childhood, or even if they've done masters of teaching?
Then in that case you again have to meet. So any skills assessment which is from AITSL, like teacher, secondary school teacher, primary school teacher, you need to have 7788. But only for the graduate diploma thing, they have changed the skills assessment authority, and that is how you are getting it.
Definitely.
So ASQA is
yeah.
the authority now for graduate diploma. So ECT, all ECT, they need to go through ASQA.
Exactly. So it means like Masters of Teaching, they still need to have 7788
Yes,
as the
yes,
requirement.
yes, definitely. they
Yeah,
need
that's
to
the
have.
that's the major confusion in
Yeah.
people's mind these days.
Yes.
So, Neet, do you recommend people to study the fast track courses, let's say the construction related courses or
Mhm.
something, when they are on their
TR.
TR? So, is it
It
recommended?
depends how many years of 485 you have. Just because if you study even fast track courses for 1 year and you need to complete your job ready program for 1 year, if you're studying those trade courses where you need to have a job ready program for skills assessment. But the good thing is, let's say you have studied something, masters, and that's not leading you to any permanent residency pathway, you're not getting job, but you are studying another fast track course like trade work, like carpenter or something, but you are doing job ready program. So 1 year of job ready program will lead you to 482 now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is why, like, now I would say even on 485 you can study these trade courses, get your job ready program done, and then you can apply for your 482 visa with 1 year of work experience.
Definitely. So, guys, if you are looking for 482 and there is a fast track course in your mind, definitely you can go for it. And Neet, earlier, like, just a couple of months ago, so Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction was one of the most trending course
Yes,
that was
it
there.
was. It was.
So, do
And
you
people
still
got their
recommend?
PRs as well
Yeah,
through that course.
of course.
That course now you cannot get direct skills assessment. Like earlier, we were just like based on that qualification certificate, we were getting the skills assessment. Now you need to have CDR reports backing up that study. Those CDR projects should be there. But yes, there is a way you can do it.
Yes, definitely. So similar is the thing with the Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication
Exactly,
as well, right?
exactly. But with if you want to compare telecommunication with civil engineering draft
Yeah.
person, the cutoff for civil engineering draft person in 189 is pretty low. Here it is 70 points, whereas construction it is telecommunication it is 90 points.
Oh God, 90
So
points.
90 points for 189. Last
Yeah.
invitation round in telecommunication technologists. After advanced diploma of telecommunication, people got invited at 90 points.
Exactly, exactly.
And I think it's time now for us to wind up this
Yeah.
session. If you have any questions, you can always contact us through our online booking system. You can visit us in our offices here in Brisbane, Melbourne, or Perth. Our expert migration agents are there to help you in assisting with your permanent residency pathway and navigating the best pathway for you. For any queries, feel free to contact us through our online channels.
Exactly. And you can just book a general consultation if you feel like that, okay, we are eligible for this visa or not. For the initial assessment, always book a general consultation. We are all there to help you. Even if you want to have a face-to-face or a phone consultation, you're more than welcome at Visa Empire. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience and watching.